I invite you all to stand and join with the Belize Defense Force Band in singing our national anthem. Please remain standing for the Belizean national prayer. I ask everyone to remain standing after the prayer for a moment of silence in honor of tonight's posthumous awardees whose names will be etched into the annals of our nation's history.
Almighty and eternal God, who through Jesus Christ has revealed your glory to all nations, please protect and preserve Belize, our beloved country. God of might, wisdom, and justice, please assist our Belizean government and people with your Holy Spirit of counsel and fortitude. Let the light of your divine wisdom direct their plans and endeavors, so that with your help we may attain our just objectives. With your guidance, may all our endeavors tend to peace, social justice, liberty, national happiness, the increase of industry, sobriety, and useful knowledge. We pray, O God of mercy, for all of us, that we may be blessed in the knowledge and sanctified in the observance of your most holy law, that we may be preserved in union and in that peace which the world itself cannot give. And after enjoying the blessings of this life, please admit us, dear Lord, to that eternal reward that you have prepared for those who love you. Amen.
Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the tribute to Belizean Patriots. At this time, we invite the Secretary of the Awards Committee to read the proclamation.
Whereas 28 persons have labored diligently on behalf of the improvement of and to the benefit of our country, Belize, and its people, and whereas they have contributed their time, energy, and intelligence, often at great sacrifice to themselves, to making Belize a better place for all our people, now therefore, by the power vested in Her Excellency, Dame Froila Salam, Governor General, and acting on the advice of the Prime Minister, Honorable John Briceño, and on behalf of a grateful nation, Her Excellency proclaimed that national awards be vested upon these 28 honorable persons. Thank you.
The Secretary of the Awards Committee, Stuart Leslie. As we prepare for the distribution of awards, let me say a bit about tonight's venue. The selection of the foot of the old Haulover Bridge to serve as a venue for the tribute to Belizean Patriots was not coincidence, but rather intentional with great significance. It symbolizes bridging the gap, pun intended, from one generation of patriots to a next generation of emerging patriots. The name Haulover was inspired by the fact that the logwood transported on the Belize River would be pulled over, or as we would say in Creole, haul over, on a barge by chain at first, then cranked over by a wrench and loaded onto awaiting vessels. Connecting one side of the bank to the other was a ferry, which was replaced in 1942 when the first bridge was constructed. Then, in 1947, a metal bridge was constructed, which we now know as the Old Haulover Bridge. On the 25th of April 2024, the new Haulover Bridge was officially inaugurated. Throughout tonight's program, we will have more of these tidbits about the Haulover Bridge. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Her Excellency, Dame Froila Salam.
Good evening, everyone. I wish the moon shone more brightly so I could see all your beautiful faces tonight. But I can see the smiles and some of the glasses being reflected. September is reserved for the acknowledgement and homage of our independence, culture, and importantly, our Belizean Patriots who so tirelessly served their nation. The Tribute to Belizean Patriots ceremony presents the National September Celebrations Committee and the public with an opportunity to commend those among us who embody the Belizean way. Through their efforts, our modern-day patriots light a path that we all strive to venture on, a path of selflessness which prioritizes country, countrymen, and women. I thank these individuals for their dedication to the land of the free, and invite all my fellow Belizeans to join us in celebrating their well-earned success. Thank you.
And now we begin with our first awardee, Mr. Omar Arceo, who was born in San Pedro. Omar advocates for protecting the flats from unsustainable development while promoting sustainable fishing practices that safeguard the country's precious marine ecosystem. Over the last 10 years, his passion has extended to teaching and engaging in scientific studies with stakeholders in Belize. He has taught countless men and women the art of fly fishing, mentoring them in their careers as young entrepreneurs and advocates for environmental protection. Tonight, he is being granted the Meritorious Service Award for his contribution to conservation and the environment. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Mr. Omar Arceo, our first awardee for tonight. And of course, we thank Mr. Omar for his contributions towards Belize's continuous evolution and his work towards the protection of Belize's marine ecosystem. Again, we are gathered here at the foot of the old Haulover Bridge that connects one side of the bank to the other, and it also serves as a connection with Belize City to the communities and villages along the Philip Golson Highway. Once again, Mr. Omar Arceo.
Omar is a very caring individual. He's very engaged in his community. I believe you can't go to San Pedro and mention his name and you don't meet someone that has known him for a very long time. He has served on the San Pedro Town Council, I believe in 2000-2003. As a councillor, he currently sits on the board of directors for the Ho-Chan Marine Reserve. He also co-leads the San Pedro Tourist Guide Association, and he is also a very active sport fishing guide, so you can imagine how full his plate is. He's one of the most active sport fishers as far as spreading the need for protection of endangered fish species, the protection of the environment within San Pedro. He's a part of most activities out there highlighting the need for additional protection of the coastline for Belize.
And before we continue with tonight's program, we would like to acknowledge the presence of the Leader of the Opposition, Honorable Moses Shine Barrow. And now we proceed with our second awardee for tonight, Dr. Rosalind Bradley.
I've been a teacher all my life, and teaching is really my passion. I love children, and I am excited about when you see them develop and they grow and they move on to another stage. As an educator, one of the things too that I was very passionate about is teaching literacy, because I believe that literacy is very important. If students are not able to read and write, then that's going to affect them across the board. I believe that children like hands-on activities, and they don't just want to sit in the classroom and listen to the teacher talk all day. And so one of the things that I am gifted or good at is making teaching aids. I like to do that. I'm very creative in that kind of thing. So I will make a lot of hands-on things. I will transform my classroom and make it student-centered with a lot of activities.
Dr. Rosalind Bradley is a dedicated educator who spent her lifetime serving her community through a distinguished teaching career. This Grazal native began her career at St. Ignatius Primary School, where she creatively taught students by recording alphabet lessons on cassette tapes. Rosalind inspired educators as a lecturer at the Belize Teachers College, focusing on reading instruction. Her children established the Dr. Rosalind Bradley Foundation, offering scholarships, and she co-founded the Reading Resource Center on Chetamal Street. Rosalind's selflessness and commitment to empowering young minds embodies the spirit of servant leadership. Tonight, she is being granted the Meritorious Service Award for her contribution to public service. And now we have our next awardee, Mr. Burnaby Ismail Kokom.
The main thing of his was education, dedicating his time to the growth of education in this nation, into areas where then few people ventured, walking miles, especially in the jungle in down south. The man has given, I would say, his life to this nation, especially in the area of education. He has dedicated his life since a young man, knowing his story, till a few years ago that he just relaxed.
Mr. Burnaby Ismail Kokom began his teaching career in 1962 at Our Lady of the Way Primary School in Ladyville and was later transferred to Mount Carmel Primary School in Benque, where he was appointed as the principal in 1972. In 1976, he founded the Belize National Teachers Union Benque branch, serving as its first president. Similarly, in 1978, he co-founded the Benque Lions Club and served as its first president. Along with Reverend Herbert Panton, he co-founded Benque's first Scouts group. Burnaby has served as a member of the board of directors of the Mount Carmel Credit Union, a member of the First Cayo Regional Education Council, and a member of the board of directors for Mopan Technical School. He is a Justice of the Peace. Tonight, he is awarded the Meritorious Service Award for his contribution to education and community service. A round of applause for Mr. Burnaby Ismail Kokom. And now we go to our next awardee, Miss Montserrat Casademont.
Montserrat, Monsi to all of us, Casademont, has lived in Benque for over 40 years. In fact, the company she heads, Kubola, is going to be 50 years in the publishing business. She is passionate about what she does. She becomes so passionate about her work in publishing and getting it right that I have given her a sort of like a nickname. In Spanish, we call those kind of people terco, stubborn. But it's what has taken her to be steady and steadfast in her pursuit of perfection. She has, from the very start, been involved in this, just before our independence, in producing, along with Juan, her first husband, and a team of Belizeans, materials that would show the rest of the world and internationalize the Belize quest for independence.
Monsi Casa de Monte File has been publishing in Belize since 1973. A pioneer in Belizean publishing in its early years, Kubola Productions published the first school textbooks written by Belizeans from a Belizean perspective. These included the Atlas of Belize, A History of Belize, A Nation in the Making, Belize Today, A Society in Transformation, and the literary works of Belizean writers Dr. Colville Young and Zoila Ellis, among others. During the 70s, Monse was active in the independence campaign and published many of the materials used at the United Nations aimed at internationalizing and garnering support for Belize's independence. With a passion for education, much to Montserrat's time is dedicated to developing educational materials that contribute to communicating ideas, encouraging debate, and providing relevant, accurate, informative, and engaging textbooks for the children of Belize. Tonight, we honor her for her contributions to culture and for her public service. Once again, a round of applause for Ms. Montserrat Casa de Monte. Our next awardee is Mr. Gilbert Bertie Ellis.
I'm speaking on behalf of my father, Gilbert Wilton Ellis. He has been a sports person all our lives, as I can remember. He used to play with cricket teams at MCC grounds. He used to play at Yarborough Green. He used to play baseball too, I think. He always tells us about how they ran out from school to go see the playing land on the grounds at MCC. He has seen a lot. He was born in 1960, so he has seen a lot. He'll be 108 years old this month. He was a member of the Olympic team that went to California in 1984, I think. He took the boxing. He was the head of the Boxing Association. But throughout his life, he has been a member of all the sports. He has been a justice of the peace too. But I remember he always tell us, Miss Jane Usher was the first justice of the peace, and then he was the second.
Gilbert Bertie Ellis is tonight's oldest recipient. He was born in British Honduras on the 23rd September 1916. Known affectionately as Mr. Bertie or Mr. B, this Belizean legend has embodied patriotism for Belize since his youth. Mr. B was a passionate sportsman, particularly in cricket and baseball. He coached local teams and led Belize's national teams to international competitions like the Olympics and Central American Games. His leadership extended to organizing football and basketball matches in Mexico and fostered camaraderie across borders. Mr. Bertie was always available to assist his community and share wisdom gained from his life experiences. Upon retiring from Santiago Castillo at age 61, he transitioned to a new role as a professional taxi driver. He delighted in transporting teachers and nuns, demonstrating unwavering dedication to their service. Today, at 107 years old, Gilbert Ellis is among the eldest Belizeans alive. His deep knowledge and passionate conversations about Belize are a testament of a lifetime of love and commitment to his homeland. Tonight, we honor him with the Meritorious Award for his contribution to culture and history. Once again, a round of applause for Mr. Gilbert Bertie Ellis. The next awardee is Miss Anna Mae Ferguson.
Anna Mae is a recently retired principal from our management. She was the principal of St. Matthew's Anglican School located in the Pomona Valley. Miss Anna Mae was an extraordinary leader, especially when it came to looking at needs and then sourcing resources to take care of those, to address those needs. One of the hallmarks, I believe, of the leadership of Principal Anna Mae Ferguson was the building of a special education center at the school. Ms. Anna Mae shared with us that there are children in the valley who do not have access to education because they have some need that regular schooling doesn't address. The children in the valley who would need extra attention and extra care actually have somewhere where they can go to school. And I will always remember her for that.
At age 13, Anna Mae began teaching as a helper at the St. John's Memorial School in Placencia. Since then, she has taught at St. John's Memorial School, St. Matthew's Anglican School in Pomona, and Hope Creek Government School. Anna Mae Ferguson has served the Anglican management of Belize for 43 years and continues as the local manager of St. Matthew's Anglican School and Christ the King Anglican Church. For her efforts, she is tonight being presented with the Meritorious Award for her contribution to education. Once again, a round of applause for Ms. Anna Mae Ferguson. The next awardee for tonight is Mr. Richard Foster.
Richard Foster was always an adventurer, you know, so he always liked to film, so he used to film in England, and then he was on a yacht, and he was a yachtman, and he came to Belize, and he fell in love with Belize and stayed here to make documentary films because he saw how pristine it was compared to other places in Central America. We did a lot of different films here, so because we kept working after, we did about 40 films, but some of them are in Africa and Venezuela, so we're international filmmakers. So we worked for Geographic and other places, but we worked along with Belize government, Belize organizations. We did conservation films too. So we did a lot of different things and met a lot of people. He really admired the people and the culture and the whole Belize, you know, the natural beauty.
"40 years ago, filmmaker Richard Foster of the United Kingdom adopted Belize as his home. Together with his wife Carol, their videography and photography highlighted the value of several important ecosystems and species in Belize, contributing to their management, protection, and conservation. Richard's contributions have impacted Belizeans from all walks of life. He was known for his love of nature and willingness to share his knowledge and experience. Tonight, we honor the late Richard Foster for his contribution to environment. A round of applause for Mr. Richard Foster. And next, Mrs. Carol Foster.
Feel so honored. I wasn't expecting it. I know I want to thank Nicanor Kenya, who actually wanted us to win this award. And I didn't even know that. And he called me up and he said, hey, Cal, you have to go to the award on September 12th. And I went, what award, you know? And yeah, I feel so privileged, and I just can't believe it. I can't believe it. A Belizean Patriot, that's great. I've been here 41 years now. We have done so many films, but Paddle the Rain God was one of them because I learned about Belize more because I lived in Panama before, and that's where I met Richard. So I learned about it from the mountains because we followed the water system from the mountains all the way down to the coral reef.
40 years ago, American national Carol Foster, along with her husband Richard, adopted Belize as her home. Together, they produced over 40 wildlife documentaries for National Geographic, BBC, and others, captivating audiences worldwide and contributing to building the conservation movement in Belize. For her work and that of her late husband, Richard, they received numerous awards, including 2 Emmys. Driven by her love for Belize's people and her passion for science and natural history, she and Richard, skilled writers, producers, and directors, educated a generation of Belizeans through their work. Tonight, we honor her for her contribution to environment. A round of applause for Mrs. Carol Foster. And now our next awardee, Miss Kathleen Flowers.
As a professional, I began teaching at the tender age of 17. I didn't even need people teaching for more than a week. And I just took charge of the classroom, and I knew it was where I would head for the rest of my life. So from that tender age of 17 until I exited the classroom in 2011, that was what I had been doing. Teaching, educating, and molding minds every day. I am a social studies teacher all my life. And that meant that I was supposed to mold minds to become productive, better citizens that would love their country, that would be patriotic, that would really and truly know what it meant to be Belizean and contribute to the building of a nation.
Ms. Kathleen Flowers began her teaching journey at St. Joseph Primary School, where she joined the Belize National Teachers Union. Joining the faculty at Gwen Lizarraga High School in 1988, she dedicated over 2 decades of her life to the school, serving as a social studies teacher and acting vice principal. She also taught at SJC Extension Night School. Kathleen is well known for her work as Vice President of the BNTU and President of the Belize City Branch. During her tenure, she led many demonstrations and strikes, never wavering in her advocacy for the rights of every teacher. For her efforts, she is tonight being presented with the Meritorious Award for her contribution to education. Another round of applause for Ms. Kathleen Flowers. And our next awardee, Mr. Paul Mahong.
I would sum up my dad's contributions really around 3 pillars. The first is his 42-year career as an educator, his lifelong commitment to community service, I think most notably his 50-year career as a journalist, and his 44-year commitment to voluntary military service. He was able to really spotlight the voices and the stories of people from Punta Gorda and Toledo, often referred to as the forgotten district of Belize, and to bring those stories to the national and international front. I think that fostered a deep sense of, and it fed a deeper sense of identity and connection among residents in this district.
Paul Mahong began his 42-year-long career in education in 1968. He served as a teacher, guidance counselor, vice principal, principal, and as assistant local manager of Toledo Catholic Schools. In 1974, Paul enlisted as a soldier in the Belize Volunteer Guards, where he actively served as a member of the BDF Volunteer Battalion. Paul has also served his community as president of the BNTU Toledo branch, PG Lions Club, Belize Red Cross, and chairman of the Toledo Community College PTA. He was a deputy mayor of Punta Gorda, commissioner of the High Court of Belize, and a senior justice of the peace. He has also been the Toledo correspondent for Love FM and Love TV, formerly Radio Belize, since 1974. We honor him tonight with the Meritorious Award for contributions to education, community, and public service. A round of applause for Mr. Paul Mahong. And our next awardee is Mrs. Elda Gutierrez.
My mother is this pillar of a woman, this individual that was felt not only in her home, obviously, but in her community. Someone whom we all wish to emulate at some point in our lives, but someone who was molded in difficult circumstances in the Salazar home when she was growing up. And because of those circumstances, instilled in those whom she loved a need to progress through education, important things like being honest. She ensured that we were always on time where we had to be. It is difficult to summarize in a few seconds the amount of lives that have been touched by my mother.
Elda Marina Gutierrez was a successful educator for 28 years, both as a teacher and then principal at Sacred Heart Primary School in San Ignacio. After retirement, she remained engaged with the community, specifically through her commitment to the Sacred Heart Church of San Ignacio and her prayer group, Our Lady of the Holy Rosary. With her guidance, many of her friends have been able to foster their devotion to God, which has strengthened them and their families. Since 2008, she has organized an annual pilgrimage to Esquipulas, Guatemala, where she and her companions immerse themselves in prayer and ask God to bless and protect their community. Tonight, she receives the Meritorious Award for contributions to education. A round of applause for Mrs. Elda Gutierrez. And our next awardee for tonight, Mr. Carlos Perote.
Carlos from way back when he first came to Belize. You know, I was invited by Mitch to meet him. I think he was brought in to assist us with our music programs in Belize. Mitch brought him in. And, you know, he met some of the musicians. Myself, I was a budding musician. I still don't think I'm a professional musician, but I met with him then, and what I remember is he told us that, you know, He had a master's degree in percussion, music percussion, but he was very versed in music and all that. He didn't speak very good English at that time, and so we started talking and we started playing, and within half an hour we realized he could play all of our instruments better than us, right? I mean, the trumpet, the piano, the guitar, the bass, and the guy was just amazing, What he has put into the music industry in Belize is awesome.
Carlos came to Belize in 1999, where for 3 months he served as an advisor for the Belize Arts Council's music program. In 2000, he produced his first album, Twin Boy, a variety of fusion compositions. Since then, Carlos has worked as an itinerant music teacher for the Institute of Creative Arts, NICH, and a music director for Andy Palacio and the Garifuna Collective. Presently, he is the music director for the Grace Primary Music School and the Holy Redeemer Marching Band. Since 2010, Carlos has hosted summer music camps countrywide. Carlos Perote's accomplishments in music have earned him the respect of other Belizean musicians. He continues to represent Belize alongside various musical groups, both locally and internationally, and is considered one of Belize's greatest assets in the music industry. Tonight, we honor him with the Meritorious Award for Culture. Once again, a round of applause for Mr. Carlos Perote. Our next awardee, Miss Florence Johnson.
Has been a stalwart in our community. A lot of people don't know because she's been a quiet achiever. She has been at a vanguard of a number of initiatives here in the Toledo district. Having been a high school teacher, and we taught at the same time, I was also a high school teacher during those years, and she taught the classics, history, literature, English language, Spanish, and we shared a part from history, I think. And so she mentored a number of men and women who have gone on to achieve in our country today.
Affectionately known as Miss Flo, is a true PG gal. Florence taught Spanish, English, history, and literature at Claver College. Between 1999 and 2007, Florence served as director and teacher of Claver College Extension. A founding member of the institution, she advocated tirelessly with her fellow alumni to maintain the program, which provides adult education. Through her family business, she supports countless community organizations. She is a supporter of first-time small business owners with sourcing items needed, providing rental space at little to no cost, and sending business their way. A woman of God, she is a lay preacher at the Punta Gorda Methodist Church, where she has served in various capacities. Tonight, we honor her for contributions to education and community service. Another round of applause for Miss Florence Johnson. The next awardee, Chico Ramos.
Chico Ramos, for me, they're just the most consummate professional. One of the easiest persons to deal with. One of the person where sit dedicated to seeing Punta Rock music grow and to whichever level it could take it. In our country, Mr. Peters, Brother David, Lord Rayburn, that's the seat he sits in. The difference is that they contribute for another culture, and Chico contributes for this culture. If you see 19th of November, and I know you know this, is one of the biggest celebrations in this country. All stems from Chico's contribution to this music.
Herman Chico Ramos was born in Dangriga on February 20, 1963, to Carl and Claudina Ramos. Chico's musical career began in the summer of '77 when he was invited to play drums for the band Super Jays. He later joined and completely immersed himself in his brother's band, Song City Band, where he started writing his own music and lyrics. After gaining experience as a musician in several Mexican bands, Chico returned to Belize and established Songs Incorporated, a recording musical group specializing in Punta Rock. He dedicated his life to the group for the next 5 years until 1988, when he left for the US, where he released 9 albums. He recorded his first compact disc, Stop Scratch Up Me Back, featuring the track Sopa de Caracol, which was picked up by Banda Blanca from San Pedro Sula, Honduras, translated into Spanish, a version that soon played throughout South and Central America. With his newfound popularity, Chico began traveling across the world, sharing his Belizean tunes. For his musical accomplishments, Chico Ramos was named the Godfather of Punta Rock and received a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Punta Rock Music Association in 2007. Another round of applause for Herman Chico Ramos. Our next awardee for this evening, Miss Maureen Leslie.
Miss Maureen Leslie is a very close friend of mine now. While she served 35 years on the Belize Police Force, the department, sorry. She was an extremely disciplined woman. She was a woman to be reckoned with. Miss Maureen had a stint where she had vied to become a political leader in Belmopan, and I sat on the opposing team. Usually when people do things like that or we take a side, it is held against you for a very long time. Miss Maureen reached out to me, and Miss Maureen treated me with no indifference at all. Like, she really raised the bar for the kind of woman that I would want to be. She continues to be a shining example of the kind of woman I aspire to be. A woman that can show empathy and compassion.
From her early in life, Maureen realized she wanted to be a police officer, and in 1973, she enrolled at the police academy. In December of that year, she became a Uniform Patrol Branch Officer, beginning her career in the radio room, where she worked for 2 years before moving to the Crimes Investigation Branch. From there, she was promoted up the ranks until where in 2003, she was promoted to Assistant Commissioner of Police for the Eastern Division. Notably, in 1995, she was promoted to Commandant, making her the first woman in Belize's history to hold that post. In 2004, she received her second class for her 30 years of service and good conduct in the police force. For her distinguished service to the Belize Police Department in 1999, Maureen was awarded the British Empire Medal by Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth. Tonight, she adds to her accolades the Meritorious Service Award for her contributions to community and public service. Another round of applause for Miss Maureen Leslie. Our next awardee, Austin Rodriguez.
continue on with the Garifuna culture. As making the drums, that's part of the Garifuna culture that is about to be lost, and then he's continue on with it. He continue on with it, and now he passed down to myself and my sister, Norely Rodriguez. So that's part of the contribution. With Daddy, he usually make drums, donate to schools. I consider him as a patriot because he's really into his culture. Daddy always about, it's not about the money, it's about the quality of work. We have some group that came by in the bus. Some of them didn't have the money to purchase a drum, but you could see that they really wanted that drum. And with Daddy just said, just give it to them. You know, he's so kind, and because he wants his drum to go far.
In his adult years, Mr. Rodriguez built sailboats, which he used to conduct trade between Belize and Honduras. Then, he started building furniture for locals and became a popular cabinet maker. Finally, came the inspiration to build drums. Austin's innovation has kept the Garifuna music alive through several generations. With his technique and attention to detail, Garifuna drums are produced faster and with unmatched quality. His drums have been played by musicians in Belize and across several continents, and many people have flocked to Dangriga to watch him at work and learn his skills. He has donated to many institutions, freely teaching his technique. At age 93, Austin Rodriguez still rides his bicycle to his beloved Wynot Island every day to make small drums and mortar sticks, a skill he loves and is committed to continuing until he can no longer do so. Tonight, we recognize Mr. Austin Rodriguez for contributions to arts and culture. A round of applause for Mr. Austin Rodriguez. And now our next awardee. As we wait to announce our next awardee, I would like to repeat some words that were stated by the Prime Minister, Honorable John Briceño, about the new Haulover Bridge. This new bridge, spanning the Belize River here at the mouth of the Haulover Creek, stands as a symbol of progress, unity, and shared aspiration. Belize has made immense progress since gaining independence. We as Belizeans must continue to unite in all positive endeavors. And now, our next awardee, Miss Maria Angelita Magana.
When the first Independence Day was celebrated in 1981, there was at the Bliss Institute, there was some formal celebrations, and Miss Angelita and her cultural group, as I said, Raíces Yucatecas, Retoños Beliceños, was present at that first Independence Day. I believe that her unwavering commitment, her investment of time, of effort, in safeguarding the culture of the north of Belize, of the mestizo culture and heritage, are nothing short of really astounding.
In 1964, Maria Angelita Alvarez Magana founded Raíces Mexicanas, Retoños Beliceños, a dynamic Yucatec Maya dance group from San Joaquin village in the Corozal district. She wanted to revive her Maya Mestizo heritage and pass it down from generation to generation, instilling in them pride in their heritage. As the years went by, Maria focused more on teaching her group cultural dances that were very popular in the Corozal district. Over the years, they have celebrated many milestones, including winning a trophy at the National Festival of Arts. In 1967, under the stewardship of Maria and other community members, San Joaquin held its first fiesta. Celebrated annually in August, La Fiesta del San Joaquin celebrates the village's patron saint. For contributions to culture, we honor Doña Maria Angelita Magaña with the Meritorious Award for Culture. A round of applause for Miss Maria Angelita Magaña. Our next awardee for tonight, Mr. Ted Smith.
Growing up, he was a great dad. First and foremost, he believes in his family, and he always puts us first besides his job. My mom was like his queen. As a firefighter, first and foremost, they're first responders. Basically, my dad was big on training, big on fire safety and fire prevention. And that was his motto. He was passionate about his job.
Living across the street from the fire department substation in Ted Smith grew up with an interest in firefighting. In 1981, he started a volunteer firefighter and soon started nightly sleeping duties until he became a temporary and a permanent driver mechanic. In this capacity, he maintained fire trucks at the department's headquarters and the Yabra substation. After being promoted to leading firefighter, he was transferred to the Bemopan branch, where he became the officer commanding. He was later transferred to San Ignacio Tong. Ted worked in all 6 districts. After numerous promotions, Ted assumed responsibility as the administrative officer for the department for 10 years, after which he was officially promoted to fire chief in 2013, serving until his retirement in 2018. Ted's main focus was on the department's development, and he did his very best to improve it. He strongly believed in training and conducting simulation exercises. His core training subject areas were pumps and primer, fire hydraulics, liquefied petroleum gas, and administration. He also served as a fire investigating officer and was involved in training across the country, in the Caribbean, US, England, and Germany. He also successfully developed a fire safety section project. Ted Smith loved his job and remains passionate about fire and fire safety. We honor him tonight with the Meritorious Award for his contributions to community service. A round of applause for Mr. Ted Smith. Our next awardee, Marion Marsden.
And is a very well-known lady, mostly known for helping out people in any way that she can. From ever since I've known her, she's been someone that everyone calls on. I mean, even as us as kids, we run to our Tia is actually known to us as Tia to solve problems, right? And I've lived close to her, around her for all my life, and most people in the public come to her on a daily basis with their problems, and she helps to solve the problems. She's also been a member of the credit union for, I think it's close to 45 plus years. So her service is known to most people.
Marion Marsden is a member of the Society of St. Vincent de Paul, where for many years she has been serving as a national president. Also an active member of her church congregation and the parish council at St. Ignatius Parish, where she is involved with many charities, bringing much needed assistance to the neediest. Marion has been a volunteer member of the Holy Redeemer Credit Union's Credit Committee, where she has been serving since 1978. For over 46 years, Marion has served member owners of HRCU with distinction. For her efforts, she is tonight being presented with the Meritorious Award for her service to the community. A round of applause for Miss Marion Marsden. And once again, we are gathered here at the foot of the old Hollover Bridge. The new Hollover Bridge, however, is currently the longest bridge in Belize, measuring approximately 500 meters or 1,640 feet in length. It is also the 6th longest bridge in Central America. And now our next awardee, Mr. Martin Swayze.
Mr. Swayze put all his effort into becoming Belize's first international beach volleyball official. And man, has this man done a lot? He has done Commonwealth Games, which is the second to the Olympics. He has done Olympic qualifiers in Mexico. He has done in the United States. He has done in Jamaica. He has done in Trinidad and Tobago. He has done all of Africa Bowl, which is Central America. As a matter of fact, he has done so well that every year he goes somewhere. He has been to Chile. He has been to Peru. He has been, and they ask for him. The Mexicans love his officiating, so much so that he was in Tuxtla Gutierrez about 3-4 months ago, and he's the one who did gold medal and bronze medal matches. And right now, Norsica has him as a referee, trainer, supervisor.
Martin Swayze's love for volleyball began at Orange Walk Technical High School. Played school's volleyball team and participated in national tournaments. After a knee injury took Martin off the playing court, he dedicated his time to reviving the sport in Orange Walk. He restored the Orange Walk Volleyball Association, organized tournaments, coached young volleyball enthusiasts, and built a first-of-its-kind sand volleyball court at the Orange Walk People Stadium. Martin has proudly represented Belize, officiating over 50 international tournaments, with his most recent being the gold medal match at the Pan American Games in Santiago, Chile. Additionally, he's held a 3-year tenure as a National Beach Volleyball Commissioner and served as an elected member of the North, Central America, and Caribbean Volleyball Confederation Beach Volleyball Commission. With Martin Swayze's help, volleyball has flourished in Orange Walk. Today, in recognition of his contribution to sports, he is our next recipient of the Meritorious Award. A round of applause for Mr. Martin Swayze. Our next awardee for this evening, Ms. Anne McCoy.
Miss Anne, as most people know her as Miss Anne, she was very outspoken. You know, the ministers, and she knew every ministers in the party. She was loved by a lot, you know, by many. She was also a Red Cross. She was a school warden, right, at Trinity Methodist. She was as I said, she was one of the few women who were there with Mr. Price. I remember from in the 60s, I born in 1969, and she was a baby long before me. She was one of those silent person that did everything from the heart. She didn't ask for any recognition. I remember as a school warden, she used to take care of all the kids, feed them. Parents used to just left their kids there and she made sure they get lunch.
The late Anne McCoy was born in the South in Monkey River Town. Miss Anne McCoy was, as she was known, attended school in her hometown and soon after leaving elementary school, made her way to Belize City. Anne was a strong supporter of Belize's independence and always spoke about the importance of September 21st. After a full day's work, she still found time to volunteer at the Salvation Army and the Belize Red Cross. She could often be seen at cross-country or following alongside parades, including Carnival, first aid kit in hand, attending to those who suffered from a heat stroke or a cramp. Anne McCoy will be remembered for her energy, her love for Belize, and her spirit of volunteerism. Receiving the award on her behalf is her youngest son, Mr. Enrique Allen. A round of applause for the late Miss Anne McCoy. Again, we are gathered here by the foot of the old Hollover Bridge, but now we have the brand new Hollover Bridge, which was officially inaugurated on the 25th April 2024. And as once stated by Honorable Julius Spot, Minister of Infrastructure and Development, this is the first bridge that was designed by a Belizean, built by a Belizean, supervised by Belize. How can you not be proud of a situation like this? And we as Belizeans, we should be proud, not only for the construction of a new bridge, but also as we prepare to celebrate 43 years of independence. Our next awardee for tonight, Major General Damien K. Waddell.
General, so Major General Damien Waddell has been a very good friend of Belize Defense Force. He has been a friend of Belize. In his time at the Louisiana National Guard, he has really made sure that Belize is kept on the list of priorities for him. Yeah, he has assisted Belize in many ways. He has assisted the Belize Defense Force. Louisiana National Guard and the Belize Defense Force are partners, and that partnership has grown over the years. And whenever he visits Belize, he always reminds us that it's not just a partnership, but it's a friendship that we have with the Louisiana National Guard. He has been one of the commanders who has really championed the youth cadet program here in Belize, and it is through his efforts that the youth cadet program has been very successful.
Major General Damien K. Waddell's military career in the Louisiana National Guard began as a commissioned officer in 1990. In 2023, he was promoted to the rank of a Major General. During his tenure, spanning over 3 decades, he has seized opportunities and key appointments, earning the respect and honor of his subordinates and superiors alike. His relentless service and dedication have also earned him prestigious commendations. For the last 4 years, Major General Waddell has significantly impacted the Belize Defense Force and, by extension, Belize. Through his strategic vision and tireless efforts, the BDF has seen its youth cadet program significantly progress, with increased participation, improved training standards, and enhanced leadership development among the cadets. The program has grown into a model for similar initiatives. Additionally, Under his leadership, 150 combined BDF and Coast Guard members participated in a joint readiness training in Louisiana. This extraordinary undertaking further enhanced the BDF's training and strengthened the partnership with Lang. Major General Waddell has helped pioneer the development of the BDF's sexual harassment policy and provided guidance and training regarding mental health and wellness, which saw the development of a suicide prevention policy and the establishment of a force wellness center. Furthermore, under his leadership, the BDF band has enjoyed the support of the Louisiana Military Band during Belize's independence celebrations. Notably, following a horrific accident in 2022, which involved the BDF band members, through the Major General's intervention, the band collaborated once more. The Lang Band continues to participate in our national celebrations. Major General Damian K. Waddell is a true asset to the BDF and Belize. We honor him tonight with the Meritorious Award for his contributions to public service. He sends his regard as he could not attend tonight. However, receiving the award on his behalf is Captain Jeff Davis. A round of applause for Major General Damian K. Waddell. Our next awardee for this evening, Miss Maria Riverol.
One day I found my mom talking to a lady in the living room, and the lady was a bit desperate because he didn't have where to go. So my mom explained to me that this lady has a family. She had a family, if I'm not mistaken, of 5 kids, and she was a single mother. And she decided, along with my dad, to gift this lady the only piece of property that my parents had, so that they can live and make a life for the kids. And that for me showed the goodwill, the heart that my parents have, especially my mom, in trying to help your neighbor, trying to help people in the community.
Maria Riverol was born and raised in Corozal Town, where she was an active member of many sports and youth groups. In her early adult years, Maria began serving her community through her church, taking active positions within the organization. As the peer group coordinator, she engaged in outreach to poor, needy, and elderly community members. For many years, her service impacted many individuals, especially in times of emergency. When Hurricane Mitch threatened Belize, Maria and the United Women's Group ensured that persons at shelters and those unable to leave their homes had enough food. During Hurricane Dean, through her church, Maria assisted families who had lost everything with clothing and other necessities. Today, she continues this work with Mission Send Me and other religious organizations. As a lay minister in her church, she supports and visits the sick and elderly. Maria and her husband have supported their community through their water purification plant. They have donated uniforms for school bands unable to finance their own and provided equipment and water for football teams and tournaments. Tonight, she is the recipient of the Meritorious Service Medal for contributions to community service. A round of applause for Miss Maria Riverol. And our next awardee for tonight, Leroy, the Grandmaster Young.
Grandmaster is somebody who is fixated in the society as a folklore and as a hero. We became brothers in poetry. Well, one of the projects that impacted me the most was Generation X. where he spoke, and there were different poems that touched on a lot of different topics that were taboo in Belizean lingo, as well as his album Just Like That, where he did on a dub poetry album where he spoke about time, he spoke about Yeriso. Pressure, which was the people's poem at the time, that was one of the lingos that traverse Belizean culture. So anytime you hear about pressure, it came from Grandmaster's poem. And then Yeriso, if they're not so, then nearly so. And that transformed Belizean culture, and that became embedded in our moral fiber and made Grandmaster, in my opinion, immortal within the entire culture.
Leroy the Grandmaster Young is a renowned poet. In the late 1980s, he starred in the rap group Fresh Breeze Crew with the Morgan Brothers, Kenny and Turbo. He turned to poetry, receiving a segment in the news broadcast on Channel 7 television station. He improvised poems about stories in the news and whatever else. He parlayed his time on Channel 7 into 2 books of poetry, Made in Pink's Alley and Generation X. His debut album, Just Like That, was released on Stone Tree Records in 2004. In 2017, the Image Factory Art Foundation released a DVD retrospective covering Young's career as a poet. All of Belize knows his famous poem, Pressure. A true promoter of Belizean art and culture, he is tonight the recipient of the Meritorious Award for his contributions to art and culture. And receiving the award on his behalf is DJ Morgan. A round of applause for Leroy, the Grand Master. Apologies. A round of applause for Leroy, the Grand Master Young. And now our next awardee for this evening, Geraldine Tillett.
She has been an educator from at our level, because she first started at preschool level. From there she went to primary school, where she taught from infant 1 straight through to standard 6. She also taught at high school, which was Sadie Vernon. She was principal there for a short period of time. There she retired. She was adjunct lecturer for the University of Belize and for Wesley Junior College. Her thing was that she wanted to teach underprivileged children, because she could have went to prestige high school, but she didn't. She chose, Sadie Vernon High School. She has always believed in giving back.
Ms. Jer has dedicated more than 40 years of her life to education, beginning as a preschool teacher in 1973. Since then, she has served as a teacher, principal and lecturer across primary, secondary, and tertiary schools. Ms. Jer also dedicates time to her community. She was appointed as a member of the National Honors and Awards Committee, which she served until 2024, and served on the National Celebrations Commission. She served as the deputy chair of the St. George's Key Day Society for 10 years and assisted in organizing activities to kick off the September celebrations and for the 10th September Citizens Parade. An advocate for women, Geraldine co-founded the United Democratic Party's National Organization of Women, pushing the party's women to actively participate in all levels of society. True to this cause, she served as a member of the UDP's National Party Council, Women's Issues Network, WIN Belize, and Belize Organization for Women and Development. She represented these organizations at international conferences focused on issues related to the development and well-being of women. She was also a member of the board of directors of Friends Boys School. For contributions to community and public service, she is tonight being granted the Meritorious Service Award. A round of applause for Ms. Geraldine Tillett. And with the retirement of the old Hallover Bridge, the existing structure by which we are situated at the foot of will be taken down, and certain sections will be relocated to other parts of the country, including the Cayo district. In this sense, we can say that old will bring new. And now our next awardee for this evening, Zoe Walker.
I have always known Zoe as this very kind, smart, service person, both to the people as well as for those that cannot speak for their own, for wildlife, manatees, primates. A lot of work related to marine conservation, well, conservation in a whole. She has been dedicating her entire life to improving conservation work in Belize. She's done a lot of wildlife protection contribution in terms of manatee conservation, in terms of primate rehabilitation, in terms of protected areas management in Belize.
In 1987, Zoe Walker and her husband, Paul Walker, moved to Sarteneja village. An active member of the Sarteneja Alliance for Conservation and Development since its establishment, Zoe has provided technical assistance in conservation management, climate change adaptation planning for protected areas, strategic planning for NGOs and community conservation groups, and project implementation and evaluation. She also volunteers as a science teacher at a local school, integrating tropical ecology and conservation into the regular curriculum. At a national level, she works in a National Protected Area System planning and has led the development of Belize's second National Biodiversity Strategy and Action Plan. In 1990, Zoe and Paul established Wild Tracks Belize, a conservation organization working towards a sustainable future for natural resources. For her efforts, she is tonight being presented with the Meritorious Award for her service to the environment. A round of applause for Miss Zoe Walker. And now, an award of distinction. Our next awardee is Mr. Francis Renaud.
Francis and myself and my older brother Calvin, we go way back as kids. His aunt Sim that brought him up was a very good friend of my mother. They taught together at St. John's Primary School. I think everybody knows Frankie's contributions in music has just been tremendous, you know. We are immensely proud of what Frankie has achieved as a musician abroad from Belize. You know, recently we saw what the world thought about countries, small countries that have Olympic athletes that win gold. For small countries like Belize to have people of that stature, to produce someone like that, it's a source of immense pride for us. But not only that, he's never turned his back on Belize. And throughout all his international studies and achievements internationally, Frankie comes back every year.
Probably Belize's most accomplished pianist and classical musician, Francis Renaud, affectionately known as Frankie Renaud, has been arranging and producing remarkable music since his teenage years. Before moving to the UK to study music, he composed and staged a production, Mass in Blues, for which he is best known. Frankie has taught classical music at some of the most prestigious universities in Russia, Texas, and England. Over the years, he has worked on major musical projects alongside Belizean greats like Andy Palacio, Brother David, Lord Rayburn, and other local musicians and singers. In 1994, the government of Belize commissioned Frankie to produce a compilation of Belizean music, the famous Celebrations album, which included songs like Thief and the iconic Good Morning Belize by the late Mr. Peters. He composed and directed a production of Belize's 25th anniversary of independence, which to date is second to none, and created a kind of renaissance in the career of the late Lena Vernon. A part of the production, Tanya Carter's Welcome to Belize, is frequently played on local TV. He was also commissioned to prepare the music for the state funeral for the Right Honorable George Price. Whether he has us dancing to the 80s music as a part of his annual concert series, remastering and reintroducing us to the Mass in Blues, or just playing the national anthem on the piano, Francis Renaud is one of our great Belizean treasures. For his dedication and remarkable contribution, we honor him tonight with the award of distinction. A round of applause for Francis Renaud. And now, the Order of Belize, presented to Sir Colville Young, KCMG.
Not just because he's my father, but personally I've grown up very impressed by him. He has made his mark in literary fields in Belize as well as in music. He was instrumental in developing a respect for the Creole language in Belize.
As I grew up, I started realizing that, he's much more than just a great dad. He's a Belizean figure. In a way, he seemed to have come from a ilk of Belizeans, the George Prices, the Philip Wilsons, that for them everything was about country.
From my dad, one thing I did got from him that I've always treasured was that coming up, he always had us listen to a wide variety of music.
Former Governor General Sir Colville Norbert Young was born in Belize City on November 20, 1932. He was appointed Governor General in 1993, a position he held for more than 25 years. In 1994, he was knighted. Sir Colville is known for his love of music and his passion for the celebration of Belizean culture. Even before becoming Belize's second Governor General, he had a stated interest in promoting the development of Belizean music. He used his office to secure musical instruments for many elementary and secondary schools in Belize, many of whose schools' bands were started with his generous donations. This has helped to maintain music as an educational staple. He also produced and arranged many musical compositions, including the folk opera, Tiger Dead, the cantata, Ode to Independence, and the Missa Caribeña, among others, and was a founding member of Belize's first steel band. In addition to songwriting, Sir Colville published a series of books about Belize, including Literature and Education in Belize, Creole Proverbs of Belize, From One Caribbean Corner, and Caribbean Corner Calling, the last two featuring poems in English and Belizean Creole. His stories have been featured in the Belizean Writers series and other notable publications. Sir Colville was keen about Belize's development in education and served as the founding president of University College of Belize, now University of Belize, until his appointment as Governor General. He was also a lecturer in English and General Studies at the Belize Technical College and principal of St. Michael's College. He is also a patron of the Scouts Association of Belize. For his lifetime of service to our nation, Sir Colville Young is being awarded the Order of Belize. A round of applause for Sir Colville Young, the longest serving Governor General of Belize. And as we are nearing the end of tonight's program, we have another quote from the Honorable Julius Spot, Minister of Infrastructure and Development, regarding the new Hollover Bridge. This new Hollover Bridge, much like its predecessor, holds momentous importance as it symbolizes resilience, strength, ingenuity, and embodies the steadfast spirit of our Belizean people. And this too can be said to all our honorees for tonight's tribute to Belizean Patriots. Once again, another round of applause for Sir Colville Young. And now, at this time, we invite the Prime Minister to join the awardees and the Governor General on stage for the official photo. During the official photo, we invite the Belize Defense Force Band to provide us with some music. And as we prepare for the photo, the official photo with the Prime Minister of Belize and the awardees, again, the selection of the venue for tonight here at the foot of the old Hollover Bridge is of great significance. It is to bridge the gap from one generation of patriots to the next generation of emerging patriots. Hopefully, the young minds of this country are watching and are inspired by these patriots who have contributed immensely to the growth of Belize. And again, as we prepare for the official photo with the Prime Minister and the awardees, with the Governor General as well, I invite the Belize Defense Force Band to provide us with some music. A round of applause for the Belize Defense Force Band for that musical entertainment. And now, continuing with tonight's entertainment, we present to you a special second segment, Builders of Belize, Cambio Grand Finale. It is arranged by Mr. Carlos Perote and will bring together the wonderful song of the steel pan, vocals, and other forms of musical instruments. This ensemble, specifically prepared for the celebration of 43 years of our independence, reminds us that we are a nation proud and free, Belize at 43. Let us give it up for our talented musicians who tonight provides us with such amazing music.
I am the roar of cannonballs cascading across St. George's Key, sinking Spanish ships. I am one of Chatouillet's children exiled from St. Vincent. I am the words of Samuel Haynes speaking up for the voiceless. I am the words of Samuel Haynes speaking up for the voiceless. I am born of mahogany, baptized in the Sabuna with the heart of a Segunda thumping in my chest to the drums of my fathers who bled for my hue. My right to be, my right to live and be free in this tranquil haven of democracy where our children bask in harmony. Many cultures, one country. Yada for we Belize, an endless path of... Yada for we Belize, an endless path of pepper boundary. From the luscious foliage of the mountain pine ridge to the milky sands of Half Moon Key. The birds they sing to the Carib Sea, kissing its shores, its infinite poetry. I am the songs of mahogany camp dancing over an open flames after a long day. A proud maroon from Gilsport, Manatee, where freedom and the sambai play. Throughout the river valley, broke down the king, I could still hear Mr. Peter's accordion playing. I am the life of Leela Vernon, her blood in every Belizean. Culture transcends the skin, never forget where you come from. I am the passion of Cleopatra White and Vivian Singh, caring diligently for our people without thoughts and a penny. I am the nerve of Antonio Sambarana standing up for every worker, the soul of independence through Price and Golson. I am you, Belizeans, and you are me. We triumph over challenges. I renew our resolve from this noble spot. I pen this poem, Belize, my heart and my home.
Funasan Anigawa Bute Amunyega Kaba Funasan Anigawa Amunyega Kaba Funasan Aruma Haluma Amunyega Kaba Funasan Aduga
Greatness of Maya is the beginning. 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 Greatness of
a yo ho ho, rubber duck in a tub with a yo ho ho, rubber duck in a tub with a yo ho ho, yeah yippee ya yo ho ho.
And a round of applause for that spectacular performance. We'd like to ask you, ladies and gentlemen, to kindly be seated as we are nearing the end of tonight's program. So again, we're kindly asking everyone to be seated as we have one final presentation for tonight. And now, introducing the Prime Minister of Belize, the Honorable John Briceño.
Good evening, everyone. Hello to those at the back there. I was talking to the leader of the opposition earlier that I'm a terrible singer. So please sit or else I might have to sing. But it's certainly a pleasure to be out here this beautiful evening here in Belize City, enjoying this wonderful breeze with these beautiful people who have served us so well for many decades. And I think it's just fitting that we can take some time out in these celebrations to be able to take a time to recognize and celebrate the wonderful work that you have been doing for Belize for these many decades of your life. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that we've heard the term Golden Girls, or the Golden Girls. Recently, this term was revived to honor our national volleyball team, which proudly claimed first place in the Under-21 Women's Central American Volleyball Championship. Big up to the girls. They make we guys look bad. So I think we have to do something about that, Henry. I think with time passed for sports, but we could cheer them on and help the guys to try to catch up to the girls. But however, many of you or the younger guys might not remember this, but the original Golden Girls of Belize were the remarkable 1974 national softball team who made history by winning the country's first ever gold medal in any sports on the international stage. I can still remember back then, we never had TV, we never had the internet. All we had was Radio Belize. I was in high school. And all of a sudden we're hearing about these Golden Girls that they're winning all of these games in softball. And that it was such a big deal for us when we heard that little Belize have won a gold medal in softball, and that our girls from Belize were these winners. And it made us so proud, because at that time we were still at the time of the nationalist movement moving towards independence. And it helped us to start to build this sense of Belize is a country, and that Belize, we have something to be proud of. And these Golden Girls in 1974 put Belize in the map. Now, the Belize's Golden Girls were a formidable force, capturing the hearts of fans and taking the region by storm. This unassuming, yet exceptionally talented group of women softball players hailed, as I said, from a small nation on the Central American coast with this vibrant Caribbean flair. Their groundbreaking achievement in 1974 Central American and Caribbean Games was no fluke. By that time, Belize had already made a name for itself in softball, having championed over several strong teams from Central America, the Caribbean, and even North America, including the United States of America. Leading the charge was that ace pitcher and most valuable player, MVP of the tournament, Linda Lewis. The stellar lineup featured Isoline Heath, also a pitcher, Brenda Johnson, Beverly Bonnie Ramdas, Elaine Smith, Noreen Borden, Grace Banner, Pat Bennett, June Belizean, Deborah Theos, Sonia Butler, Joan Garbutt, Genevieve Jenkins, and Marie Wade. On their journey to capture the championship, the Golden Girls faced off against some of the top teams from countries like Puerto Rico, Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, the Virgin Islands, the Bahamas, Bermuda, and El Salvador. They secured the goal with a stunning performance against the softball powerhouse Puerto Rico, decisively winning, listen to this, decisively winning 14-2. There's a way we said it in Creole, but I would not say it. I kind of not appropriate at this moment. But that was a hell of a beating, though. I was so proud of these women. Linda Lewis not only earned the MVP award, but also garnered accolades that solidified her status as Belize's most outstanding softball pitcher of all time. In 1997, she was inducted into the International Softball Federation Hall of Fame, holding records, now listen to this, holding records for the most wins, 10, in the Central American and Caribbean Games. The lowest earned run average, 1.68, and the most innings pitched, 58 and a third. Today, as the surviving members of that iconic team enter their golden years, they continue to exemplify what can be achieved through dedication, hard work, and unwavering belief in oneself and one's teammates. They remain a profound source of inspiration for young Belizean athletes. it is fitting that 50 years later, in their distinguished honor, the term Golden Girls is once again being used to describe our victorious under-21 women's volleyball team. So we extend our greatest respect, honor, appreciation, and eternal love for Belize's original Golden Girls. Thank you.
Well, in 1974, this all-star team, the girls from different teams at that time, they had 4 or 5 different teams, Guinness, Berger, Dunright, Loyola. They picked the most talented ladies from the teams, and then we were trained together. We practiced to represent Belize. When we got selected, we had to practice twice a day. And for us to get selected, we had to be at our very, very best. It was a big deal for us to go, and we were also one of the underdogs because they didn't expect that we would do anything in the game. So these teams overlooked us. The first game we lost, and then we ended up winning all the rest of the games until the last game was between Puerto Rico and Belize. And we lost to them, but then we came back and won, and that's how we won the gold medal. We had players that had all the enthusiasm. We went there to win. We had coaches that really instilled in us confidence, and we just wanted to win. Like any person, anybody right now competes, the goal is to win. And we went there and we made sure that we did it. When we came from Santo Domingo, we were met by a host of fans and Belizean greeting us at the airport. They had a big parade. All these children, school children, was on the streets. It was amazing. And to know that they're honoring us again this year, I feel that I'm very happy that they're able to do that for us. I'm grateful that we're being recognized.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen. It is my great honor to call my sister to the podium to receive the plaque from our Prime Minister, Honorable John Briceño. I like Miss Terry, who also played with her on those momentous days in Santo Domingo when they won the gold medal for the first time in Belize. Linda and Debbie, we are very proud of you. And we are proud of all the women. Some of them have left us, but we remember them. Particularly, I think of Pat Bennett, Iselin Heath, Miss Johnson. Grace Banner. I can't remember all of the names that have gone ahead. Who? Noreen Bodden, right. Miss Noreen Bodden as well, right. So we remember them. And we want to thank them, to thank their families for sharing them with us. In 1974, 50 years ago, that was a proud moment for us. I remember I was a student and I had to line the street and I was singing for my sister because I was so proud of her. Linda and Debbie, kindly come on stage to receive your award from our Prime Minister, Honorable John Briceño.
Ladies and gentlemen, another huge round of applause for the Golden Girls as they receive their award.
I believe we have family members for Pat Bennett here tonight. If not, then we can ask Miss Brent. Oh, I see her brother come in. Kindly join us on stage.
All of your names and history. Thank you all so much. Remember the film. Little did I know 50 years later I'll be giving you a nobody said that.
We also have Genevieve Jenkins' brother joining us. So these are Pat's brothers and Genevieve Jenkins' brother.
Real thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause for the Golden Girls, the gold medalists for the Belize national softball team. And this is all significant of this evening. Again, we are here at the foot of the old Hallover Bridge. Across stands the new Hallover Bridge. And this is significant of one generation to the next. Similarly, with the Golden Girls, the term, as Honorable John Briseño had mentioned, was revived for the volleyball team. So from the original Golden Girls on the Belizean national softball team to the new Golden Girls from the volleyball team. Congratulations to both of them, and of course this is significant of that transformation from one generation of Patriots in Belize to a new generation of Patriots that are up and coming. From those who have paved the way, their unwavering commitment to shaping Belize. Hopefully, those stories will inspire a new generation of Patriots. And once again, a final round of applause for the Golden Girls. And ladies and gentlemen, before we end tonight's program, I ask you to kindly remain seated, and as we get prepared to reintroduce the ensemble that was arranged by Mr. Carlos Perote, tonight's awardee. He will be joined by another awardee, Sir Colville Young, who will be joining the ensemble to provide you with a few more musical selection. So ladies and gentlemen, as the Golden Girls and the representatives make their way off stage, please give a round of applause and welcome once again the Builders of Belize Cambio Ensemble featuring Sir Colville Young. Ladies and gentlemen, another huge round of applause for that beautiful arrangement. And now we kindly ask all to stand as we announce the departure of the Governor General, Dame Froila Zalam. And you may be seated. And that brings us to the end of tonight's program. We ask all out here at the Hollover Bridge to drive home safely. And for those watching and listening at home, and those gathered here tonight, we thank you for joining us and invite you all to tune in Sunday night at 6 p.m. for the National Day of Prayer Thanksgiving service from Fordyce Chapel on St. John's College campus. And again on September 18th from the historic Battlefield Park for the unveiling of the statue of the father of our nation, George Price. Good night, and thank you for being with us.